Out of desperation in 1976, they concocted an outlandish scheme. They put on a bodybuilding show at the prestigious Whitney Museum of American Art in New York City to try and attract potential backers.
We invited Candy Bergen to photograph Arnold. The Whitney thought we might get 300 people, and someone said, you know, there's a pretty big crowd outside.
I know, isn't it? You seen this crowd up there?
No, I haven't looked out there.
It's big.
And I went down and looked, and there were 5,000 people outside trying to get in.
Nobody's gonna go in until we get a line here.
Inside the museum, Arnold, Frank Zane, and Ed Corney were rotated on a turntable in front of the New York City art crowd.
It was very sort of high concept idea.
It was a risky scheme, and it was a long, long way from Venice Beach. Moderated by New York Times critic Vicki Goldberg, the event brought together some of the most prominent art historians in the world to watch bodybuilding.
We're talking about a subject which is fascinating and quite present before our eyes a lot of the time. That is to say, the representation of the muscular body in art.
The next bodybuilder who's coming out doesn't need an introduction to a lot of you, but he does to a lot more of you. As I said before, he's the greatest bodybuilder in the history of the sport, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
And then we had this discussions about, you know, what is bodybuilding and compared to what art was, and how did, you know, Leonardo da Vinci and Rodin and all those guys come up with those muscles when they painted and sculpted muscular bodies.
The Whitney couldn't control the event because there were too many people there, so that instead of taking the money and putting it in a cash register, they had to throw the money into a pile on the floor.
Hey, move down, 2 lines, okay?
There was a 6-foot-high pile of $5 bills, and at the end of the day, the movie was financed, and the rest is history.
The Whitney Museum event proved to investors that the general public just might be interested in bodybuilding. Now, it was time to present pumping iron to the world.